Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spurs Up Show, the best Gamecocks podcast on the internet. Today is Wednesday, October the 21st, 2020. On today's show, it's Wednesday. That means we're talking gambling, best bet for South Carolina LSU, plus the SEC gambling picks. As I look to have a bounce-back week because last weekend, folks, was a week to forget. We've got 4 games on the docket this week. I'll give you guys, like I said, my best bet. South Carolina LSU as the Gamecocks travel to Baton Rouge looking for their second straight upset. And, of course, the SEC gambling picks, some good games, some good picks. We're going to bounce back. We're going to get it back on track. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. It's all brought to you by our friends over at Upstate Movers Group. Guys, Upstate Movers Group, superior moving service. They bring care and attention other companies can't offer because they're simply too busy maintaining trucks and profiting off of them instead of focusing on service. Guys, service is the difference when it comes to Upstate Movers Group. So listen, they're not a trucking company. They're a moving services company. They're employee-owned co-op, which means their movers are paid twice the industry average. So you know the service is going to be good. You know the quality is going to be good. Everyone on the crew is just as invested in the success of the project as you are, and they have dedicated professional crew members. And guys, if you've ever done moving before, if you've ever moved and hired a moving company, that stuff makes a difference. These people are handling your stuff. You want to make sure they're not messing anything up. They also offer black glove service, which means they offer end-to-end packing services, custom crating, and packaging for special items and cleaning services as well. Oh, by the way, here's the kicker. If you need any other reason, guys, to go with Upstate Movers Group, they're founded by Greenville natives and University of South Carolina alumni. Gamecocks supporting Gamecocks. Why not? They offer 20 years of project management and moving experience. They can offer logistics and solutions that traditional moving companies simply don't have the skills for. Guys, go make sure you check them out, upstatemoversgroup.com. That's upstatemoversgroup.com. I've had the opportunity to work with these guys, meet with them, talk with them. Fantastic people. Like I said, the service is the difference because we all know, hey, listen, a moving company is a moving company, right? Wrong. There are some that take care of your stuff and they're going to make sure it's moving. If anybody knows me, moving is one of my least favorite things on this planet. For whatever reason, I get in such a bad mood when I move. Like, I don't ever want to move again. Like, I'll be totally honest with you. I don't ever want to move again. But if you have to move and you're going to hire a moving company, you want to at least hire someone that's going to make the process easier than it should be or easier than you want it to be or is going to take care of you along the way. They're not going to stress you out. They're not going to add unnecessary stress. Upstate Movers Group is that moving company. They're going to take care of you in the process, like I said, and they're going to make that transition seamless for you when you're moving. They're going to take care of your stuff because you know the service is top-notch. And like I said, Gamecocks helping Gamecocks. They're Greenville natives and University of South Carolina alumni. So go check them out, upstatemoversgroup.com. That's upstatemoversgroup.com, and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. The show is also brought to you by our friends over at MyBookie. Of course, guys, we're talking gambling, so we got to talk MyBookie. Listen, between the NFL, college ball, and MLB playoffs, there's no shortage of games to watch right now. And with thousands of lines available on all your favorite sports and events, you can turn your game day into payday with MyBookie. Listen, if you're the type of guy like me who likes to back the big favorites, consider putting a couple in a parlay for a much bigger payout. It's parlay season as well. Not only do parlays make meaningless games exciting, but more importantly, they give you a chance to turn ordinary bets into a real moneymaker. And don't forget the underdogs as well. Everybody loves a good dog, right? South Carolina, last weekend, home dog. This weekend, Carolina, the road dog. They got a ton of value. There's a ton of value in those dogs, all right? The thing about the NFL especially is that underdogs are never really dogs on Sunday. It's different in the NFL, right? Every team truly has a chance to win, which means you do too. Game spreads, championship futures, and player prop bets. It's never too late to get on the action and start turning your sports knowledge into actual cash in your wallet. Guys, if you go over to mybookie.ag, you can sign up at MyBookie, and when you do, use the promo code Gamecocks. That's mybookie.ag, promo code Gamecocks, to claim a deposit match, dollar for dollar, all the way up to $1,000. So, guys, like I tell you, you put in $500, you go to mybookie.ag, use promo code Gamecocks, you put in $500, they're going to match it. They're going to give you $500 in free play. You put in $1,000 and use the promo code. They're going to match it and give you $1,000. That means the free play. You play it. Let's say you take South Carolina money line. If the Gamecocks hit, boom, you get the money. If they don't, guess what? It's not coming out of your account. It's a free play. It's a win-win scenario for you. It's a bonus designed to give you a little help and a head start on your winning season, by the way. That's promo code Gamecocks. Again, that's mybookie.ag, promo code Gamecocks, for you to claim your bonus when you make your deposit. Stacked UFC cards, presidential prop bets, all the major sports, and more. Guys, you can bet on literally anything and everything. Sign up today to begin your winning season exclusively at MyBookie. Let's get it. It's the Spurs Up Show. As always, appreciate you guys tuning in. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I truly appreciate you tuning in here on this Wednesday. And, of course, it is Wednesday, so we are talking gambling picks, best bet for South Carolina LSU, and SEC gambling picks. And, folks, I got to say, I almost cried when I read my record from last week. The SEC gambling picks were absolutely brutal. If you're playing my picks, if you are actually playing my picks, I want to sincerely apologize to you. There is nobody that feels worse than I do after that week last week. We lost a couple of games by a half point. We lost some games by 20 or 30 points where I was completely off. And I'll be totally honest with you guys, because you know what? I got to admit, I wasn't totally honest last week. Last week was the first week I went into with the SEC gambling picks, and I made the picks, and I looked at them, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. This is a tougher week. This is kind of a tougher week. I'm not sure. So if you faded me, congratulations. You went a perfect 5-0. If you played my picks, unfortunately, you went 0-5. So, yeah, we're going to try to get it back on track this week. But overall, appreciate you guys tuning in. A fantastic day, fantastic Wednesday, hump day. We're halfway through the week, which means we're that much closer to game day this weekend. Guys, before we get going into everything, a couple of housekeeping items really, really quickly. If you have not done so, take 5 seconds out of your day, click the pause button, rate the show, go leave 5 stars, whether it's on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever platform you tune in on, whatever you listen in on, does not matter. Leave 5 stars. Leave your thoughts, your feedback. If there's things you like, things you don't like, you want to hear more of, less of, whatever it may be, your reviews help boost up the podcast. We're creeping slowly but closer and closer to 400. I want to hit 500 by end of season. Heck, we're almost halfway through the season, guys. We are going to be halfway through the season after this weekend. So we got to get on it. Click the pause button. Leave 5 stars. Leave 5 stars. Do it right now. Go do it. Appreciate you guys that have done so. Also, if you're not subscribed, hammer the subscribe button. Obviously, you're going to get the daily notifications when the podcast drops. And also, if you're not following on social media, go do that. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, please do me the favor. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And those who have done so, I mean, the subs keep going up on YouTube. So those who have done that, appreciate it. But again, rate, subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you so much. Also, want to remind you guys really quickly, watch party at Overtime Bar and Grill this Saturday. Doors open at 5 o'clock, kickoff at 7. Watch party at Overtime Bar and Grill down the road from Williams-Brice Stadium. Obviously, the game is in Baton Rouge. It's on the road. If you're in the city and you need a spot to watch the game, Overtime Bar and Grill is going to be the place to be. Again, doors at 5, kickoff at 7. Come on out. It's going to be a really, really good time. You guys probably saw the videos on social media from over the weekend. We've been having a blast out there. It's a good time. The service is awesome. The venue is awesome. The people are awesome. Come on out. Hang out with some Gamecocks and watch the Gamecocks take on LSU. Also, one last thing really quickly, or one of two last things. Or actually, one last thing. One last thing really quickly. Big surprise coming. I just want to say that again. Big surprise coming. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to let you guys know, but I think you are going to be surprised. And I think you are going to be really, really excited as we go into this LSU game. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Also, another thing I will say, because I've had some people that have complained about the ad reads and stuff like that. And guys, listen, I get it. Ad reads, whatever. Hey, somebody's got to pay the bills. Somebody's got to pay the bills. That's how this show operates. That's how this show works. I know most of you guys understand that, but I just want to make that clear. And I only partner with people that I honestly think can benefit the people that tune into this show. So it's not some stuffy ad or some BS ad where it's like, oh my God, this doesn't even apply to me. I just want to make that clear because I see some people complaining about it. And listen, I totally understand there's ads, whatever. Nobody likes ads on anything, but ads are what make this thing operate. So I'm just letting you guys know, please do not be frustrated with it. And with that being said, I do want to tell you my friends over at Yardware, because today's show is brought to you by Yardware. Guys, go right now. Pause this show right now and go to yardwaresigns.com. YARDWARESIGNS, yardwaresigns.com. This is a must-have for all Gamecock fans. I'm being dead serious. Even if Yardware Signs was not a sponsor, would not matter. A must-have for Gamecock fans. Yardware is a veteran-owned and operating company that is licensed by the University of South Carolina. If you guys didn't realize, that is a big deal. If you're licensed by USC, that is a very, very big deal. So they're licensed by the university. They sell must-have Carolina yard and wall signs. So these signs, guys, I'm looking at mine right in the studio right now. extremely high quality. Like I said, I would recommend this to anyone. These signs are made out of 12-gauge laser cut steel and come in both garnet and black. So whatever you fancy, whatever color you want, garnet and black, they have it. Football season's obviously in full swing. The holidays, Christmas, it's right around the corner. Guys, like I said, for the Gamecock fan in your life, if you're not going to get one for yourself, which you should, if you're not going to, you should. But for the Gamecock fan in your life, doesn't matter who it is, this is the perfect gift for them. And being priced at $34.95, it's extremely affordable as well. And you can put it anywhere. Your yard, I have mine in my office. You can put it in your living room. You can put it in your studio, which is actually where I have mine. I said office/studio, whatever. You can put it in your man cave. You can put it in your garage, wherever. This is an awesome piece, and like I said, a must-have for any Gamecock fan. So again, you can order yours today at yardwaresigns.com. That is yardwaresigns.com. Be sure to check them out and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Okay, let's dive into it now. We're going to start with best bet. South Carolina LSU. Gamecocks going on the road to Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers, the reeling LSU Tigers, by the way, that sit right now at 1-2 overall. They are the defending national champs. They are the defending national champs, I might add, but reeling so far in the season. Obviously, they did not play last week because of the COVID stuff with Florida. So their last game, they're coming off of a bad loss to the Missouri Tigers where their defense got completely blasted in that game. It was a straight-up shootout. Looked like Big 12 football in that game. But this game, kind of interesting with the line movement. LSU opens up as a 7-point favorite. That then jumped, actually, to LSU minus 7.5. It now sits at LSU minus 6.5. So LSU favored by 6.5 points. The over-under has moved as well. This over-under started at 60 points. It now sits at 57.5. So it has come down a little bit. I think, obviously, the big news this week that is impacting that is Miles Brennan. Is Miles Brennan going to play for LSU? Because if he does not, they have two true freshmen they will be depending on, neither of which who have played in an SEC game. So when I take a look at this game and I take a look at the best bet, listen, I'll tell you guys right now, when the line was at 7.5, and if it was still at 7.5, my best bet for you guys would be to hammer the Gamecocks plus 7.5. Because I think if nothing else, listen, I'm honestly at this point, even on a Wednesday, I'm not 100% decided on what my prediction is going to be. I really keep going back and forth, and really I'm diving into LSU today, and I did a little bit so on Tuesday afternoon as well, and I look at their defense and the individual matchups, and I look at the Miles Brennan thing and that storyline. Is he going to play? I keep going back and forth as far as the prediction is concerned, because I think South Carolina has a great chance to win this football game. Make no mistake about it, which is why I think if you can get that number at 7.5, destroy that number, because I think the Gamecocks keep this at least within a touchdown. I really think so. I think South Carolina comes out, plays a solid football game again. Do they go into Tiger Stadium at night and win? I don't know. I haven't made my pick yet, and I don't know. I don't know that that'll happen. But I do think South Carolina will show up and will play a competitive game and take LSU to the wire, and it will be a one-possession game. However, that is not the best bet because LSU is only a 6.5-point favorite. So stay away from the line. To me, the best bet, and it just screams to me, is the under 57.5. The under 57.5, which might sound crazy because, again, the high-flying offense is all the scoring in the SEC this year, and everybody's going over. But when I look at this game, and I watch this LSU defense, because a lot of you are going to say, well, Chris, I mean, I saw somebody say, Colin Hill, if he doesn't throw for 300, it's a bad game. Watching the LSU defense, at least from what I've seen, their biggest weakness is in the secondary. Correct. And and that's saying a lot when you have Derek Stingley and your secondary is still a weakness. Okay. That's where they've been exposed. You look at the Mississippi State game, you look at the Missouri game, they've been exposed in the passing game. Here's the problem with that. Does South Carolina have enough weapons on the outside to expose that themselves? Yes, you have Shi Smith, but I fully expect Stingley to be on him. So that's going to make it very, very tough to get the football to Shi Smith 7, 8, 9, 10 times like you've been doing every game this season. On the flip side, the Miles Brennan thing is a huge, huge story going into this week. Because, listen, I know that LSU has weapons. You look at Terrence Marshall on the outside. The Gilbert kid at tight end is a legitimate threat. They've got other options as well. So the passing game for LSU has been really, really good. But I think South Carolina, you look at a team, if you can get Israel Mukuamu back especially too, A defense is starting to really gain some confidence, starting to play much better. I think we saw that secondary grow up a little bit last weekend. John Dixon's starting to play some really good ball. Shiloh Sanders is starting to play some really good ball. Jamie Robinson's continuing to play. And then, of course, oh, by the way, J.C. Horn is there as well that's going to try to, and I think will probably lock down Terrence Marshall. So what it's sounding like right now, here on a Wednesday, if I had to guess, I don't think Miles Brennan is going to play. And again, that's just a guess. He might. But even if he does, how healthy is he really? It's a lower body injury. He takes one wrong hit. That might be all she wrote for Miles Brennan. And I expect South Carolina to be able to get to Miles Brennan. I think the front seven will be able to get some pressure on him. So to me, I look at this game, and I think because of that, I think South Carolina, again, is going to try to run the ball. There's no secret there. I think South Carolina defensively, whichever freshman quarterback it is that's going to play, I think the Gamecocks defense will be able to have success. And for that reason, I think the under 57.5 is the easy play in this football game. I really, truly do believe that. I really, truly do believe the under 57.5 is the easiest play in this game, and that is why it is my best bet for South Carolina LSU. All right, let's move into the SEC gambling picks now. Like I said, guys, your boy took it on the chin last weekend. We took it on the chin. 0-5. You can't get no worse than that. 0-5, which now puts us at 13-13 overall. We are staring down the barrel of 500, and guess what that means? We've lost money because the juice. So we got to get it back this week, starting with the best bet, by the way, in South Carolina LSU. We got to get that best bet rolling. That was the game, by the way. I missed it by a half point. The over-under was 51.5. I took under 51.5. Total finished up at 52. Talk about a punch to the gut, eh? Anyways, 0-5 last week, 13-13 overall. Let's get it back. Let's break the bookie this week. We're going to start in Oxford. The aforementioned Auburn Tigers limp into this one at Ole Miss. Auburn is actually a 3.5-point favorite. Over-under set at 70.5. Guys, like I said, was Auburn really the 15th best team in the country? I don't believe so. I don't think they were. But I'll tell you this. I think everybody's looking at this game and saying, oh, Auburn's terrible. You got to take Ole Miss, which is exactly why I'm going to take Auburn to cover -3.5. I think the Auburn Tigers do bounce back. I think Bo Nix is a much better game. Ole Miss is still kind of figuring things out under Lane Kiffin. And, hey, they certainly could win this ball game outright because, again, they're one of those teams. They're just kind of unpredictable at this point. But I like Auburn, even on the road. I like Auburn to bounce back after a really tough game in Columbia against the Gamecocks. I think they'll bounce back. Auburn covers the 3.5. Let's move into Knoxville. Bama at Tennessee. Bama, a 21.5-point favorite. Over-under set at 64.5. I don't know if they can make the spread high enough for this one. Tennessee coming off getting blasted by Kentucky, which, again, my God, my supposed best bet for the SEC slate last week was Tennessee covering -6. Boy, was I ever wrong. Jarrett Garantano happened to us all as he threw, 2 or 3 pick sixes? Was it 2 or 3? Whatever. Either way, threw a couple pick sixes, threw them completely out of that football game. Bama, the 21.5-point favorite. Again, over-under set at 64.5. I'm staying away from the spread in this one. I'm going to stay away from the spread in this one. I'm going over 64.5. Mac Jones for Alabama. What a season he's having, by the way. What a season the Alabama quarterback is having. He's the first ever Bama quarterback to throw for 400 or more yards in 3 straight games. I think he eviscerates that Tennessee defense yet again, and I think Tennessee will try to hang around again. 21.5. If you got to pick one way or the other, I think you pick Bama, but stay away from it as a whole. Both teams will score. Bama's been suspect on defense, but Bama might score 50 in this game. I've got Alabama and Tennessee, over 64.5 in Alabama, Tennessee. Hammer the over. Last game, Kentucky at Missouri. Missouri coming off a bye week because of the COVID stuff. Kentucky, a 4.5-point favorite, over-under set at 46.5. Don't look now. I think the Cats are starting to get it rolling. Defensively, they are incredible. They are getting the ball off people like none other. Mizzou loves to throw the football, and guess what? I think Kentucky's going to make them pay. I've got the Cats on the road, -4.5. I think Kentucky covers the 4.5. I like what Mark Stoops and that defense, I like what they've got rolling. And like I said, I think they're going to carry that momentum from Knoxville into this game. Kentucky covers the 4.5. So again, going back down the picks, best bet for South Carolina LSU, under 57.5. Hammer it. SEC gambling picks, we got Auburn minus 3.5, over 64.5 in the Bama-Tennessee game, and then Kentucky minus 4.5. So guys, like I said, I'm hoping and praying we have a bounce back week this week, because my God, looking at my picks when I was getting the show ready and looking at like, okay, what's the overall record? 0-5. It just like punched me in the face. That's how it felt, honestly. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there would like to punch me in the face. If you bet my picks last week, I would honestly say you can get one punch to the face in, because that's just brutal. 0-5, brutal, absolutely brutal. But again, we're gonna get it back this week. I'm thinking a 4-0 perfect record. We're gonna get back on. You got to get back on the wagon. Go to mybookie.ag, promo code Gamecocks. Get back on the wagon. Hopefully you used your free play. So it didn't hurt you too much. All right, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Before I let you go really quickly, I do want to tell you my friends over at Southern Oaks Remodeling. Guys, Southern Oaks Remodeling, locally and family-owned, over 15 years of experience. They specialize in roofing, windows, doors, siding, and additions, and they're serving the greater Columbia area. Guys, like I talked about earlier with Upstate Movers Group, with Southern Oaks Remodeling, service and the people is truly the difference. Because listen, when you're having someone come in your home and you're having them work on a project for you, and it's a very long process, right? And you have to go back and forth. Well, you want to do this, you want to change this, you want to alter this. It's a very personal experience, right? You really get to know the people. You get to know the people that are working for you and that are doing the job. You want to make sure you're working with the right people. Listen, I was telling somebody this the other day. People don't invest in businesses. People invest in people. And with Southern Oaks Remodeling, the people are the difference. Like I said, they're locally and family owned, over 15 years of experience. So you know they know what they're doing. They're going to take care of you. And like I said, if you're in the greater Columbia area, you got to give them a call. Like I said, specializing in roofing, windows, door siding, and additions. Any project you need. If you've been putting it off, the holidays are coming up. This is the perfect time to do it. If you're in the Columbia area, make sure you reach out to them or give them a call. Again, that's Southern Oaks Remodeling. Southern Oaks Remodeling right here in the Columbia area. Be sure to give them a call, contact them, and tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. Guys, as always, I am Chris Phillips of the Spurs Up Show. Appreciate you all tuning in, and we will talk to you tomorrow.